during trivia, the cast member who was doing it, she was Jamaican. She'd never seen Star Wars in her life. Like, didn't know any Star Wars.
Oh,
And it was
so she said C3PO instead of C3PO.
Multiple times. But here's the thing. She pronounced Mustafar, like she was pronouncing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And she gets to C3PO. And Chuck and I look at each other and we're like, did you hear that?
And welcome back to another live bonus episode of the DCL Duo podcast, brought to you by My Path Unwinding Travel and also brought to you by the DCL magazine, brought to you by WDW magazine. For those of you who have not subscribed yet, make sure to go to wdw-magazine.com to subscribe right now to that magazine and hopefully to the DCL magazine, which we're going to make it a thing. We're committed. All right. Well, I am excited. Obviously, for those of you listening on the audio channels, you are hearing my voice, Sam, not Brian's voice. So you know that I am solo hosting today, but never fear, I am not alone. For those of you watching live, obviously, you can see I am joined by the lovely Erika and the handsome AJ. So nice to see you guys and welcome back to the show, you two.
Hey,
Thanks
thank
so
you.
much.
This is our first time on the show. We've not been on the show before.
I thought you were on the show once before, AJ.
No, this is the best day of my life because I finally got on the show.
Oh my God. How did I swore that we had you on before, but anyway, I had it in my head.
That's okay.
As we have I feel like we've known each other now for several years. You guys have been watching the show. We met, of course, in person at Disneyland during my first half marathon weekend. And it was, lovely to meet you guys in front of the castle, essentially.
Yes.
Actually, we're at the partner statue. It was right over by Walt and Mickey. But it's so nice to have you guys on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
We're thrilled to be here. And I didn't realize that was your first half. Like I probably would have congratulated you more at the time if I'd have known it was your first. I thought it was just running. You did it so well. I thought it was just old hat for you.
Yeah, I've now done two, so I guess old hat now, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you're pro. You're pro.
I'm a pro. Yeah, I mean, I'm not as fast as either of you guys. I mean, I know AJ's like the super fast one, Erika.
Right.
I know you're pointed at him, but like you're actually quite fast too. I mean, so don't,
Thank you.
She is. She is.
So you might not think that you're fast because AJ's faster, but you're still pretty fast. So.
Thank you.
But it's so good to have you guys on. And it's, really great, of course, to always talk about some Disney Cruise Line stuff. We don't have any news to report today. I don't think there's been any significant news other than something we talked about last week, which is just the fact that DCL seems to still be having some issues with its IT system. So we keep hearing about boarding delays for people, or at least people being warned to bring their documents with them to the port and have everything, all the paper with them in case they have to do check-in all over again at the ports. It seems to be an issue in both Port Canaveral and Port Everglades. So just want to put that out there for folks. That's something to be aware of if you're sailing sometime soon. There seems to be Disney IT issues. Big surprise, right? Another thing that I think we're expecting sometime soon, although we still don't know when, is DCL itineraries, right? We still haven't heard the next round of itinerary release. We don't know exactly when that's coming. We're hoping sometime soon, but who knows?
It's usually around this time, yeah?
I feel like it would be the release, but they have at times, at one point they were doing 3 different releases a year, and then they said they were going to switch back to 2 times a year. And then it seemed like though the timing was more like 3 times. So I don't know what's going on. So they'll
take our money either way.
Exactly.
And we'll give it to them gladly.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's dive into talking about your cruise on the beautiful Disney Fantasy. Of course, she was our first love. I have
Ours
to say,
too.
The way we fell in love with Disney Cruise Line, and it is one of those iconic. Well, all of the ships I think are iconic, but of course we got to dive into talking about your cruise with 3 other couples on the Disney Fantasy.
Yes.
And I want to, you did a great PowerPoint, so I'm going to pull that up.
That's the foreshadowing of the planners that we are, is that we have a PowerPoint.
I love it though. I mean, everyone, our audience loves a good PowerPoint. We love a good PowerPoint. It's a great way to sort of organize your thoughts and to help folks understand about your cruise. So
sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got to talk about the characters involved in this cruise, as you titled it. And of course, here's the two of you guys.
That's right. So we're AJ and Erika. We've been married 22? Yeah, 22 years. And we've been Disney the whole time. So, I mean, from being little kids, Erika, you went to the park the first time when you were, that's you, 4. I think I was 4 or 5. So both of our parents took us when we were kids all the way kind of up through. Erika's dad was born the day Disneyland opened. So July 17th, 1955. So his mom, like, dove in, like bought him Disney stock that day or something. Wow. And so like he was a Club 33 member for a long time. Like he was fully Disney. So he took you a lot, right?
Yeah, we went every summer pretty much.
Yep.
And our kids got stock almost immediately. So
from grandpa, that is. Yeah.
And remind us how old your kids are. I know your kids didn't sail with you on this sailing, but remind us how old they are.
Yeah. So we have Nicholas, who's 19. Taylor is 16. And I'm sorry, Taylor.
No, you're way off.
I'm way off.
No, you're a few years behind. Erika's still living back when they were young.
Yes. Yeah. Nicholas is 20. Taylor is 18. Yeah. And Addie is 16.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Started with the wrong child.
Yeah. I love that.
Yes.
And you guys let's hear. I gotta show these pictures because these are just adorable.
That's baby AJ and Erika when we were dating. We went to school in California. And so we both worked at the park. Right. And so Erika worked on It's a Small World. I worked. Do you remember Interventions? Do you remember when Carousel of Progress turned into Interventions? That's where I worked during college. So
cool.
Yeah. So we were at the parks all the time. Mm-hmm. Like we were working, but then, or I say parks, California Adventure opened while we were there working. So we got the failed launch of.
I was going to say the original that people did not really like.
We thought the Maliboomer was great back then. That's all we knew.
I love that.
But so we've done the park. So that picture, and I'm sorry for audio people, but that picture of Erika and I in the Cinderella's, royal table chair, that was on our honeymoon. And then we went back on our 20th anniversary, which was our fantasy cruise, the first cruise we'd ever been on. And they let us get our picture in the same exact spot. And so we're little babies in that picture, though.
Yep.
Oh, you guys are little babies there. I said to you all like off air, and I'm like, you guys are adorable here, but I you might even get cuter with age, though, because let's see some of these adorable Run Disney pictures. And this is the thing that I feel like I know about you guys the most, because
our obsession, yes,
because you guys are hugely obsessed with Run Disney, as anyone could see from all of these Run Disney pictures. But I mean, you guys also put out a ton of videos on your socials. Well, AJ, I mean, you are a media person. I mean, you do it for a living. You do fantastic work. But I feel like you're constantly, when you're at the races, posting tons of pictures and videos about the races.
Yeah. Yeah. So we just finished our 16th race. When did we start? I mean, it wasn't very long ago. 2023?
Yeah, well,
Erika did her first Princess back in 2016 and then didn't run it again until we both did it together. She talked me into it in 2023. We were supposed to do it during the COVID year, but it got canceled.
Yeah.
We missed the Star Wars race. So our first race was 2023. And since then, I mean, if you've done one and you don't get caught up in, trying to be fast or, how crowded it is or any of that, and you just truly enjoy it, it can be a ton of fun and give you a lot of purpose and whatever in, your trips to the park. So, you train for months and you're living a healthy lifestyle and all that stuff. And then you go to the parks and eat all the snacks to carb load,
eat all
for the race.
Carbs. Exactly.
That's the only reason we did the marathon. That was it. So we could eat as much as possible. But we love Run Disney. So, I mean, we born, raised Disneyland all the way up through college. Then we moved to the East Coast where we live now. We've done Disney World, so we're pass holders here on the East Coast, and we do Disney World. Our kids know nothing of other vacations other than Disney vacations. That's all they know.
Right.
And run Disney. Even the girls have run a few races. You can see in those pictures, the girls have run with us a few times. So
I love that. Now, what age did they start running? Because we're like thinking about how do we get Nathan like involved in. So he starts middle school in the fall.
Yeah.
And they've got the only no-cut sports are like cross country and track and field. So we're kind of like, and of course for someone like Nathan, who team sports and physical, like sports with any kind of physical contact, not going to be his jam, like not at all. He does not have, he just doesn't have that aggressiveness in him for good or bad, right?
Yeah,
and so, but I would love for him to get involved in, maybe running. It's something like some kind of athletic activity that I feel like you can do for a long period of time, right? That you can, I don't mean long period of time like hours. I mean like well into your life, right? And I think running, and I think running is running, cycling, those kinds of things are, I think, great, cardiovascular activity.
Do I remember right that he did the 10K with you guys?
No, he hasn't done any race with us, not yet.
But he went with you, but he just didn't run. Is that? Okay.
Yes, he has gone with us to the race weekend, but he did not. He has not run. And so I'm like trying to figure out like, could we, train him up for like a 5K, I think.
Yeah, the kids run the 5Ks, so there's no age limit on the 5K. I don't know what the age limit is on the 10K. I don't think there is one. I think I think you're good. The half marathon, I think you have to be 14 and up.
Yeah, or I can't remember what. I think there are definitely different age limits for different. I think you're right. I don't think there's. I think there is an age.
It's like
limit
5 years old, for the 5K.
Right.
Taylor, who's our middle child, ran the Princess with us when she was 14. I remember that. And she's 16. I'm so sorry.
I was going to say I have the ages right now.
Now it's
both of the girls ran it when they were 16.
That's right. 16. It was 16.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to jump back to this picture because this is obviously a picture of you guys on a cruise. And I'm going to ask Erika, why don't you tell us your cruising creds now with Disney Cruise Line, when you started sailing with Disney and how many cruises. And then we're going to dive into talking about the friends that you guys cruised with on this particular sailing.
Okay. So our first cruise was on the Fantasy for our anniversary. That was 2-3 years ago.
It was 2023.
Yes, 2023. And then we took the kids on the Magic, and then AJ and I went on the Wish, and then this cruise was back on the Fantasy, which is my favorite ship.
Yes. You've sailed between the Fantasy, the Magic, and the Wish. Absolutely. The Fantasy is the top of those three ships. The Fantasy, no question, beats the other two. Of course, there's nostalgia on the Magic because she's the first in fleet, but you can't go wrong with the Fantasy. You got the Midship Detective Agency.
Which we've never done. Can you believe that? I know.
Jay, what? You guys, I guess you got to get back on the Fantasy or on the Dream, and you're gonna have to do that. Yeah, you have to do the Muppet storyline though. No,
yes, I've heard that, and I've heard it on y'all's show a lot. And the problem is that like we get to the end of these sailings, and we're like, oh, we forgot to do these 12 things, on the cruise. You think 7 nights or whatever's enough, and it's not.
It's not. It's never enough. It's never enough. That's why, our friends Tracy and Michael are always like, no, like you got to do like the 12 night, the 14 night, the Panama Canal, right? You got to do like these longer sailings.
Yes.
Or I guess transatlantic or transpacific, right?
He wants to do that.
I would love to as well. Bring me all the sea days. Give me all the sea days. Yes. I love it. All right. Well, let's talk about who you sailed with for this cruise. I'm going to jump over to Alex and Kimberly. Tell us about Alex and Kimberly. They're a lovely looking couple, of course.
I'll let Erika talk about them, but I do want to set up if it's cool. So all these people that came with us, there's 8 of us total. They're all in our church small group. So, I know I don't know if all churches call it a small group, but basically we get together, on a Wednesday night every week, and there's 13 of us in our group, and they meet at our house and we do Bible study together. Right. So
nice.
we also serve with these people. So almost all of us are in production. Erika's a musician. Alex is a musician. Other people you meet as sound guy. We got a lighting guy. Like I'm the video guy. So like we all kind of,
so you all help with the production side of the church.
Right.
As well.
Nice. We're all, we're all, we serve and volunteer in that way.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. So just for a little bit of context, like that's how we know these folks. We all live in the same town and we all meet every week.
That's cool.
Yep. So Erika, you want to describe how do you describe Alex and Kimberly?
Like the fun ones of the group.
I could see them being the fun ones of the group.
Yes.
Now, did they have any cruising history on Disney or otherwise?
Not on Disney.
Not on Disney. They just went to the Med this summer and did I don't remember what cruise line they were on, Royal or something. So they're travelers for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And they're foodies. I mean, they are foodies. It is like, I can't hold a candle to the kind of stuff that they like to eat, Right. And so they're travel. Kimberly's pregnant. She was pregnant on, this cruise. She kind of squeaked in right before that 24-week cutoff.
Right before the cutoff. Yeah.
Yeah, they did their baby moon with us.
That's right.
I love that.
So they don't have kids yet. So they, kind of snuck in that last travel before life changes for them a little bit.
Before their life really drastically changes.
That's
Alex
right.
and Kimberly, if you're listening or watching, like, good luck. It's a journey,
Yep. Next thing you know, you're going to be AJ and Erika forgetting how old your kids even are.
Right. Exactly. Or toting baby all around on Disney Cruise Line. We'll say it's easier to bring a baby to a cruise line than it is to the parks. That trip is going to be easier.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's jump to Chuck and Jamie. Tell us about Chuck and Jamie.
Yeah. One last thing on Alex and Kimberly. They were pass holders, so they're Disney people.
Okay. So they are Disney people. Okay.
They are Disney people. Chuck and Jamie, and I do not mind calling them out on this because they've said it directly to me on video. I'm working on a video right now about our sailing. They've said it on camera. They hate the parks. I mean, they do not like the parks. Okay. I think they had a bad experience. Like, it's like a long lines, whatever. And Chuck cannot get over the idea of paying for a fast pass or Genie Plus. He cannot get past it.
Okay.
His brother works for the company and can get him into the park for free, and he still won't go.
But they do like Disney cruises.
Yeah,
they do like Disney cruises.
But he loves the cruise line. This is their third. Okay. And so they partially are the ones that talked us into our first one.
Wow. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I will say, like, there are definitely people who are not parks people, but but like Disney and like cruising and love Disney cruising, right? And so, I mean, I think more people out there kind of have love for both, like you all, like us, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's more common, but I do think there are people who are like, all in on cruising and just not parks people. Those lines are difficult to navigate. And if you're not a planner, that's another thing. I think that's a real negative. If you're not much of a planner, the parks can be a really difficult experience because you really do, in order to maximize your time, your effort, all of that, I think planning can really help. And so, all right, well, let's jump to Kevin and Jennifer.
I do want to call out Chuck and Jamie, though, for if you're watching, their outfits. I mean, he's Captain Jack Sparrow on Pirate Night.
Yeah.
And he had a queue of kids waiting to get their picture with him. And poor Captain Jack over there, with the PhotoPass guy, like
people were leaving his line and coming.
Wow. Well, I mean, it is a really professional looking costume.
Yeah, he did a good job with that. Yeah. So for not being like super Disney folks, they pulled it out for sure. It was awesome.
Yeah, awesome. All
Kevin and Jennifer.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, I think they came on the cruise because we were on the cruise. Like that was it. Like, all the friends were on the cruise. That was it. Like you notice the's no Mickey Mouse ears. There's nothing. I
was gonna say this picture to me just reads like they're just wearing, summer clothes.
That's right. I think we could have been on any cruise line. They still would have come.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now I will say this, like just getting ahead of myself. They probably had more fun. I think genuine, like more fun than anybody else because they have no Disney history. Like they've been to the parks before with their kids. Their kids are grown, but like they don't have I don't think they've done it the way we do it. You know what I mean? Like they don't have that inside whatever. And I think they genuinely, like Kevin, I said, "Hey, I'm going to go on the aqueduct. I'll be right back." And he's like, "I'm coming. Wait for me." And I'm like, You want to ride with? Like two grown men going down the aqueduct,
Yeah.
And every time I showed up with ice cream, he would look at me and be like, hey, where'd you get that? It was awesome. Like, I think they really settled in and it wasn't just a vacation. Like, they really dug the Disney way of doing it. I think.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Now, we kind of talked before the show about how, like, what sort of the sailing is about and how, sailing with a group is always interesting. But if you're not the planner type, how the best thing to do is to sail with planner types.
Sure.
And you guys are the planners of the group. Is that right?
Well, yeah. Well, if we're doing Run Disney on a regular basis, you have to be a planner, right? Because that's like it takes the most planning of all the things. And
I mean, you got to be online right at 10 a.m. Eastern to make sure, or before 10 a.m. Eastern, make sure you get in that queue and with multiple windows open on multiple devices, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
For better or worse, we know how to do rope drop culture. Now we don't push kids out of the way. We're not like that,
Right.
But we know how to do it all. We know when online check-in is, we know all the things. We know our booking window, we know our port arrival time. Like, we know all the things,
Yeah.
And poor Kevin and Jennifer, if they're watching or ever listen to this, like, I'm not calling them out, but like, I swear they were just like, actually, Jennifer said it to me one time. I think she's like, hey, Dad, thanks for coordinating everything. Like, and I was they very much tell us when to be there at what time. And even sometimes they didn't even show up at that time. You know what I mean? And that's okay because they still had a really good time.
Yeah. Well, and, were they the ones who didn't like do the check-in process?
Well, here's the thing. I don't have to talk to this audience about check-in, right? Like, when you're supposed to check in. I told them what their status was, first time. So I told them, here's when you check in. Do it at this time. You need all these documents. And I said, hey, I told everybody, all right, we got our port arrival time. We're 11:30. You know what I mean? Whatever. And I think everybody said, oh yeah, we'll check in tomorrow, or, like kind of that vibe. And I'm like, what time do you plan to get to the port? And so they all had like a 1:30, 2 o'clock port arrival time.
But some of them were okay with that.
And they were fine with it. That was the
Sure.
thing, is like, here I am. And this was a defining moment for me. We're driving to the port and I'm getting a little irritated, not with them, but just like, they're not going to have a good vacation. Looking at Erika going, they're not going to like it. And then I just had this moment. I just looked at Erika and said, their happiness is not my responsibility. Like, they're going to have a good time. Either way, Disney's got it covered. They're going to be able to get on the ship. The extra 2 hours on the ship doesn't matter. Like, they're going to be fine. And they were. Like, they probably had more fun than us because they were more chill about everything.
Yeah. I feel like, if you're a go with the flow kind of person, you absolutely, that's why a parks trip, that's why I kind of understand Chuck and Jamie not liking the parks maybe so much, because if you're a go with the flow, I don't want to plan, like the parks, you're not going to get the value out of it, I think. But on the cruise line, I think you can still get value out of that vacation, even without doing any planning. Of course, you still have to check in at some point before your cruise.
And they did. They followed all the rules, but it was just very funny that rope drop culture over here, AJ and Erika, we were on the rope. You know what I mean? Like, we were there ready to do our things at the time we were supposed to.
You were ready to run to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train so you could get that ride in at 8:30 in the morning.
That's exactly right. Everybody knows to go that direction, Anyway, but like I told them, hey, if you want to see the show at 6 or 6:15, whatever, you need to be there 20-30 minutes early, and they followed the instructions and we got great seats and all that. But somebody kind of had to communicate that, I think, and that fell on us.
Right. Well, and that, as long as you're okay with that role, but you're also okay with like their happiness and their enjoyment is not my responsibility, I feel like then it can go fine. If you take on that mental burden in addition to the planning for yourself,
correct,
it can be a little too much, right? Like, because you don't want your happiness to depend on their experience. I think that's where the line is. Well, let's jump into talk about, I know you had some of course, a pre-stay, because, if you're going to Port Canaveral, you're going, so you guys stayed, it looks like Port Orleans.
We did. Yeah. We got to make use of that annual pass, and so got to justify that high cost. And so we had to at least step foot in the park. We basically just went over. I think we just ate some stuff, rode one ride, and left.
Yeah,
but we still got it done.
I love
So Erika and I spent the day together in the parks. I think we hit Epcot and Magic Kingdom. I think that day, and
nice.
And everybody joined us. Everybody drove kind of separately, I guess. Kind of came in kind of different. And I'll throw Kevin and Jennifer under the bus here in a second about what day they arrived, and you'll probably have a heart attack about that.
Oh God!
And so
I know
you can see there's only 6 of us the night before.
Yeah,
you can see that.
I see that.
So Jennifer had work. She had to fly in the morning of, and so I was a little bit stressed for him, but I was like, you know what, they'll be okay. Coming from Atlanta,
right? I was going to say you guys are coming one state away, so the worst case scenario, you can how many hour drive is that?
7-hour drive from where we live. Yeah,
that's a long drive if you think about it.
But here's the benefit: is Delta is Atlanta is the hub for Delta. Right. There's an hour every hour. There's a flight from Atlanta, and Delta is very reliable. Right. Yeah. I would not take Southwest or JetBlue or whatever out of Atlanta to try and get to Orlando for a cruise, but Delta, I think you're okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't do that.
I think the only issue would. Yeah, I mean the issue would be weather, right? Like that's the issue. It's not an issue of like so much about a single flight getting canceled. The issue is if you've got some really bad weather issue, it's a bit of a drive. I mean, you could jump in the car, but you got to jump in the car early enough to make it before that all aboard time.
And we have a Buc-ee's halfway, so we stop at Buc-ee's halfway. So.
I have to show this then because I literally took this out. This my friends Ashley and Daniel who sailed with us, and I still haven't eaten this popcorn. I literally took it out because I was going to snack on it before the show, and then I kind of forgot about it. Yeah. So it's sitting right with me. It's the Buc-ee's triple mix popcorn. I still have not eaten it yet, but I did eat the jerky, and the jerky was delicious. I have not been to a Buc-ee's myself. So, all right, well let's talk about. We've got these cute embarkation pictures, of course. But we've got a particular person in this photo with you.
Erika can tell the story because Erika made this connection, so she can tell the story.
Yeah. So when we sailed on Fantasy the first time, Raphael was one of the photographers, and AJ, I mean, we're both friendly people, but he's always chatting it up with anybody that we run into. So we kind of got to know Raphael on the trip, and this picture of us in our pirate garb, we found out that was actually his birthday that day. And so we were like, Raphael, can we get a photo with you? And so anyway, we just have talked about him for the last 2 years. And so as we're in line, getting ready to get on the boat, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's Raphael. And AJ's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And I'm pulling up my phone, scrolling through to find his photo.
To find this picture?
Yeah. And we're like, look. And you could tell, at first he didn't remember. Then when he saw the photo, he was like, oh my gosh, I totally remember who y'all are. And so then the whole rest of the cruise, he would if he saw us, he'd come running over and take his photo with us. And so.
Yeah, we probably have 10 photos with Raphael.
Yeah. So
it was super fun because then there were other photographers that were on the sailing from 2023 as well. And I think they kind of dialed in. They're like, actually, I think I remember this situation happening.
Right.
Yes. So it was cool. It was great to see Raphael. He hooked us up on our 2023 sailing, our 20th anniversary. We didn't know the stuff. So formal night, we didn't know the lines are 6 hours long and you got to be there early for photos. We didn't know that.
Just to be clear, AJ's exaggerating. They're not 6 hours long. But you can, especially if there's a magic shot or something, they can be 45 minutes long. I mean, you're talking, I'd say most of them are probably more 20 to 30 minutes long, but the one that's the one magic shot of the evening, 45 minutes long. Yeah.
So we missed our grand staircase photo opportunity because of it. Mm-hmm. And 3 nights later, it was our wedding anniversary. We're dressed up. We went to Palo. We're all dressed up, and we head over to just get some pictures. And Goofy or somebody's on the stairs that we did not want our picture with. Right?
Oh, interesting.
But we were in our formal stuff, so we hung back. Yeah. And we hung back, and we go up to Raphael right at the end. We're like, hey, could you get our picture on the stairs, with no character or whatever before you shut this down? Yeah. And he kind of looks around to make sure there's no managers around, and we have our formal picture that we missed on formal night.
Yeah. So, I love that. Well, you could get one with Goofy and without Goofy. You can always ask.
We didn't know that back then. We've come a long way since then.
Yeah. Well, and that is one of the things that I think about, when we first started sailing in 2018 and where we are now and what like there's so much you don't know when you first start sailing. You don't know that, right? Like you don't know that like, oh, the backdrops in the atrium are going to be different every single night. And so if you really like, if there's a backdrop you really like and you want a picture in front of, like, don't count on it being there the next night because it's not going to be there the next night. There's going to be an entirely different backdrop. Or if there's like a themed picture you want, let's say it's a Star Wars picture with the lightsabers, which I know we're going to get to in this slide deck. But like that's only going to happen one night of your cruise. It's not going to be back on. Or if there's like a magic shot. Now there are some magic shots that they'll take out on the decks, on the pool decks, and you won't know them, but it will be like Donald and Goofy and different characters will appear in your photos. Those may happen on a couple of days of the cruise. Those are daytime photos typically, but yeah, those backdrops and are going to be different, and the characters may be in different costumes at different times. But those are things like I didn't know that when we first started cruising. I just you might not even like sort of notice these things,
right?
Well, let's jump to talking about this wonderful sailing. So it sounds like it didn't take a lot of convincing to get these friends to come with you. Is that?
Here's what happened. We invited, not on the sailing. Trevor and Leanne went on a sailing with us on the Wish in November. It was her birthday. They had gone through a lot and they just needed a break. And we were already going for a race weekend and tying it to a race weekend. And I just happened to mention it. And so they went with us, right? And it was great. It was just us, but they're in our small group.
Yeah,
we got home and we were in a lot of trouble.
Well, there was some splaining to do.
Right. So Alex, who is, he's bigger than I am and taller than me, he cornered me in the green room at church and said, "When are we booking our sailing?" Like I remember feeling cornered,
wow.
and I was like, "Oh yeah, we should do something sometime." He goes, "No, pull out your phone and find it right now."
They wanted to go to Alaska, which we really want to do. For a few months, we were trying to convince everyone to go on the Disney Alaska cruise.
That's right. But we decided to go a little easier, first time around, not, no one has Castaway status to get all the excursion, like you were just, it seemed like a heavy lift at the time.
Alaska is a heavier lift, I think, for a couple of reasons. One, it's a lot further away for all you guys to travel, right? So like it's going to be, it's going to be a longer cruise, right? You're talking 7 nights. I mean, there are a couple of 5-night itineraries mixed in there, but you really want a 7-night itinerary for Alaska. You're coming all the way across the country and then up to Vancouver, of course. And it's a more expensive cruise, right? Like the cost of the cruise is more expensive, but then the excursions are like another heavy lift. I mean, the cost of we've booked our excursions for our Alaska cruise at the end of August for this year. And I mean, the excursions, some of them are $1,000 a person just for the excursions. Yeah. So, not every excursion, but like the one that's the helicopter to the glacier where you're going to then do the sled dog thing, right? That's $1,000 a person or $900.
The ones you want to do. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Right. So it is, I think it is a bigger investment, a bigger commitment, all of that. So it makes sense to pick something a little closer to home. And for folks who are maybe, I think, cruise curious, right? An Alaska cruise is a very different experience. It's not warm weather cruising. It's not, sit by the pool or at a beach. And like, I feel like most people, when they think of cruising, they think of like Caribbean, Bahamas cruising, right? That's sort of so you didn't have to do any convincing. If anything, you got convinced.
Piece of cake. I mean, the bottom line was schedules, and then coordinating a bunch of, working people with kids, that's a challenge. So in this picture that you're looking at, you notice Kimberly's not here. And I think Erika's taking the picture. And the reason Kimberly's not here, she was at the spa winning like a free massage, right?
Yeah.
And so she won whatever the raffle they do on the first day. Well, she comes back and is like, "Hey, I won." And we're like, "Oh, congratulations. When are you doing that?" She goes, "Oh, it's 6:00 or something like that." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that's a bummer." And she's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Well, you're going to miss the show tonight, And she was like, "Oh, I'll catch a line another time." And I was like,
"No.
Are you going to see it at 8 and you're going to skip dinner?" And she goes, "No, I'll just see it another day." And I was like,
No, it doesn't work that way.
I feel like I explained rotational dining in the shows. I feel like I explained it before, but like I just,
that was on page 27, bullet point 10. But
right. Did you? So now this is a great point, Erika. Did you guys like make a slide deck for your friends? Like I
tried not to. Like I did my absolute best. Erika can testify. I said, should I send all this information or should I just let it flow? And there were times where I was like, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
So Kimberly had to go back to Senses Spa and reschedule her free massage because she wanted to see the show and go to dinner.
Well, at least she told you and you were able to help her, help stop her from making that mistake. Now, I'm not saying it's a mistake. There are people if you've seen Aladdin before or you're not a show person, right? Like go to the spa during the show or sit by the pool during the show or ride the aqueduct during, the show. Like those are great things to do if you're not, but if you're somebody who wants to see the show, on most sailings, occasionally they'll do 2 different nights, but on most sailings, each show happens one night. And it happens twice only on that one night. As you mentioned, AJ, the earlier show, the later show. So you're either if you have something going on during the early show, I guess you're skipping dinner if you've got late dinner.
Yeah. So I told her you can skip dinner if you want, but then you'll never see Enchanted Garden ever. You know what I mean? Like I was explaining how the rotation worked, which, it's up to you. Do you want to skip that? And she ran right back to the spa and rescheduled it.
Yeah.
So she won in that situation because she got all 3, right? She got the massage followed by the show, followed by dinner. So it worked out for her.
I love this. By the way, Jamie's watching because she said we had such a great time on the cruise. So she's watching live right now. I thought I would let you know.
Awesome.
Yeah. And we did get a comment here about the backdrops we were talking about. So I just want to bring this up from Linda. Don't snooze on the plain white backdrop. Her friend fought her on it and it turned out to be her favorite photo. And for anyone who knows our DCL duo photo, that's Brian and I, that is the logo of our show. If you are looking at Apple Podcasts, that picture is Brian and I on the Disney Fantasy on that white backdrop. So that is, so definitely don't snooze on that white backdrop. Awesome. All right. Well, I love this. So embarkation day sounds like it starts out a success.
Yes.
We got some other pictures here. I want to look at.
Yeah, I know we're talking a long time, so we can blaze through stuff. We had dinner at Enchanted Garden the first night.
Love that.
Everybody loved rotational dining. Just the idea, like immediately. I mean, there's the first time 4 of the 8 of us had experienced a dining serving team that was going to care for you that level, and so they loved it. Everyone dove right in, and it was good.
Awesome. I think that's like a perfect way to describe rotational dining. They follow you, they cater to you. The team becomes your people, right? Oh, yeah. They're like them and your room steward are the cast members that you spend the most amount of time interacting with. And obviously it's somewhat dependent on how friendly they are and how busy they are, and but also dependent on how much you make of it as far as how much you interact and try to get to know them. Mm-hmm. Of course, the major thing, character experiences. I love these pictures of you guys.
Yep. So we love doing the characters on the cruise because in the parks it's so hard. What I mean? It's so hard in the park. So we get our picture with a lot of characters.
Yeah.
I love this.
C-3PO was new to us. I don't know if that's a new thing in general, but he was in the kids club and it felt a little weird. I'll be honest, like there wasn't a photographer, but I wanted to see him. So we did it and it was great.
Yeah. I have this picture of myself. Not just me, it's me and Nathan. And I got him solo. I made him, stand with C-3PO and then I jumped in. But I loved this picture opportunity. I did it on the Fantasy in December. I don't know how new it is. I feel like they've done it before, but I don't know that they were doing it back in like 2018 when we were sailing on the Fantasy. But it's not brand new, but I don't know like how long they've been doing it for. But it's it's during one of the open house times. So adults can go into the kids club and get, and kids can go in of course as well and get their picture with C-3PO in this. It's cool because it's in like the Star Wars area.
It was very cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Then you can kind of interact with that stuff.
So this day was the day that everyone did whatever they wanted. If that makes sense. It was our 1C day. And so
choose your own adventure day.
Yeah. And the benefit to having all these people of varying different, interests and whatever was like, I don't like to lay on the pool deck. I move too fast and I just don't sit very long. And so, Erika, I will go to the pool deck with her, no problem. But about an hour in, she knows I just can't even anymore. But she does not love the trivias and she does not love the art of the theme show tour. And I will go every time. That is not true.
I did it one time.
One time?
Yeah.
I'm on 4,
I was going to say, Erika, you don't feel like you need to do it over and over again. Whereas AJ's like, I want to learn something new and I bet I'll get a different detail from a different.
Well, I didn't until he got back and he was like, yeah, we had like the best tour.
Yeah. Do you know Yo-Yo? Do you know Yo-Yo?
I do kind of know Yo-Yo. I mean, I know. Yeah, I know.
Apparently, he's the longest standing, according to him, the longest standing entertainment staff.
Oh, cool.
Crew member. He's been there 20 years. So
wow. I know. I can picture him in my head. I don't feel like I know him personally.
Super fun guy. The longest art of the theme show tour you will ever go on. I mean, he knew everything, and it was multiple hours, and I did not mind, and it was fantastic. So it was awesome to do that. I took Chuck to Star Wars trivia because I thought, hey, Chuck would like to tag along and I'm going to go win Star Wars trivia, right? That was my mindset. Yeah. And I know Chuck likes Star Wars. He's pretty big into Star Wars. So I thought he would like it. If I had gone to Star Wars trivia, I would have gotten a whopping 5 out of 20. I just want you to know. I contributed 5 points.
Yeah.
He got us the other 12, so he got us, we got 17 out of 20. And we lost. Good. We lost, unfortunately, because someone got 18.
Somebody got I was going to say somebody get 20. I will say these trivias, they are hard, but there are some hardcore experts, whether it's Marvel or Star Wars or Disney parks or whatever, there are people who know the answers to every single question. The only ones that I'm really strong in are Disney Cruise Line trivia and Brain Teasers trivia. Those are the only ones that I can come, I can't win every time or anything. I can come close. But yeah. And I love Star Wars and there's no way I would get 17.
I couldn't believe I only knew 5 answers. And Chuck was saying names of people that I'd never heard in my entire life. And I'm like, are you sure that's the answer? He's like 100%. He was so confident. He's just, give me the next question. He knew it all. And so I'm glad I took him with me or I would have embarrassed myself.
Are you listening to our show because you want to make the most out of your next vacation? Great news, the fabulous team over at My Path Unwinding Travel can help guide you so you don't miss a thing. Their team of professional travel advisors are caring, knowledgeable, and experienced. It's why we use them to book our own travel. My Path Unwinding Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, which means they are recognized by Disney for their expertise and service. They have sailed on all the Disney ships, including in concierge, visited the theme parks, adventured with Disney, relaxed at Aulani, and so much more. Whether it's a Disney cruise, a theme park vacation, or Adventures by Disney, or if you are looking to expand beyond the mouse, My Path Unwinding Travel will elevate your next vacation planning experience. Even if you have already booked, reach out for a complimentary consultation to make your vacation even more magical. Ready to talk to the experts? Head over to mypathunwinding.com/DCL Duo or email dclduo@mypathunwinding.com so they know we sent you their way. Thanks, My Path Unwinding, for sponsoring today's show. Now back to the episode.
Well, I gotta say, if you're not watching Andor, you are living under a rock because
we just finished it.
Oh, I just finished it myself. Oh my God. It is. I honestly think that Andor might be one of my top 5 TV shows of all time. I'm not joking on that. And I'm not a hardcore Star Wars person. But Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie.
Oh, mine too.
Yeah. And of course, this is the prequel to Rogue One. The entire Andor series leads into Rogue One. And it is, if you think of it as it's political commentary. It's an incredible, it gets you on. It's so smart and it's emotional and it's the storylines are so good. And the comeuppance for some of those characters at the end is just chef's kiss. That's all I'll say. I don't know spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers at all, but it's so good. Go watch it right now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Go watch it right now. Well, finish watching our show and then go watch it.
Yeah, we got 18 more minutes, so you can go watch Andor in a second.
Start with season 1 and go all the way, marathon it through. But speaking of Star Wars, I mean, you guys,
sorry, audio people, but these are our photos. We'd not seen the lightsaber thing before on the cruise ship. we turned the
Erika, you
corner.
look so fierce in this picture. Like,
Thank you.
Yes,
It was super awkward to take. I was like, "Can you pose me, please?"
This is, first of all, both of these pictures are phenomenal pictures. Like, just so good. But you guys look awesome in these pictures. Like, so
Thank you.
So good. I love it.
So what happened is we came around the corner. We're like, oh, look, a Star Wars thing. So we took our picture and there was no line. And we went to dinner with everybody and we showed them the picture. We're like, hey, look what we did. They said, oh man, we need to get that picture. So then we had to go wait in the long line between the show and dinner, to catch the
20-minute line.
It felt long to me. But anyway, so everyone was in.
Saying, don't forget to talk about C3PO.
I wasn't going to throw the cast member under the bus like that.
Oh, no.
During trivia, the cast member who was doing it, she was Jamaican. She'd never seen Star Wars in her life. Like, didn't know any Star Wars.
Oh,
it was
so she said C3PO instead of C3PO.
Multiple times. But here's the thing. She pronounced Mustafar, like she was pronouncing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And she gets to C3PO. And Chuck and I look at each other and we're like, did you hear that? And so we let it go. Anyway, I think like a 10-year-old kid on like the 4th or 5th time raised his hand and said, it's C3PO, and corrected her. I felt terrible for her. And she played it off really well. But yeah, unfortunately, she did not know that's how you pronounce it.
That's funny. Well, and that is hard if you don't have some like awareness of the Star Wars universe. Like, there are some difficult names.
If you asked me to name anything on Lord of the Rings, I'd probably mess it up because it's not my franchise. Like, it's just not. So I should not host that trivia.
You don't want to butcher all the names. Well, I love that your friends demanded to get this picture though, because I think it's a great one. Well, here you guys are at Royal Court.
We got the big table in the middle. Have you ever sat at that table?
I have not sat at that table. That's fantastic.
So we walk in. What's your table number? We're table 88. We have no idea what that means. And they look at us and like, oh, you're table 88?
Must be special.
Yeah, they said, right this way. And they took us down and we're like, why did she say it like that? Anyway, we get to the table and all the lights and everything all point towards this one table. So we took over the big table in the middle. And it was our pirate night dinner spot too. So we got that table twice.
Oh, awesome. Love that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you had animators as well. Now, you had animation. You didn't have animation magic on did you have animation magic? We had Crush. That's right.
Yeah.
Because it's the fantasy and it's a shorter than 7-night cruise. Thank you. Okay.
I do want to say that I was looking forward to Royal Court because it has some of my favorite items.
Right. Chateaubriand, escargot, right?
No, not escargot. I'm thinking more like the fried brie, so anyway, it's got some, and their Grand Marnier souffle is in there.
Yeah, people love
Well, they were practicing for the transatlantic. They were practicing night 3.
Okay.
And it was awful. Like, I mean, not awful.
So it was like an alternate menu, not
it was like a multiverse situation.
The food was good, just wasn't what AJ wanted.
No, it's just not what I wanted. So Kiko, our server, I didn't eat what I got and whatever. And I was I was probably pouty more than anything. And he says, AJ, was everything okay? And I'm like, it's fine. Like, I was just really looking forward to that fried brie. And I was really looking forward to that souffle. And he goes, oh, okay. And I was like, I was really looking forward to it. And I'm trying to hey, you can work some magic here, right?
Yeah.
And he just kept looking at me like, yeah, well, this is night 3 we're practicing. I'm like, are you practicing night 1 anywhere on the ship?
Yeah.
Or any other night? And he said, nope, we're night 3 the whole time. And so unfortunately, it wasn't a great menu. I mean, it was fine, but I missed a couple of my signature things I like to get.
Yeah. We just lost your video. We still have your audio.
Well, as long as you can still hear us, I'll see if I can fix the video while we're chit-chatting.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move on to your pictures on Lookout Cay, because I know that there's some hot takes from you guys on Lookout Cay. Here we see this. It's a really good picture you took of the pier, by the way.
Yeah, I get up early. Like that's my thing is to get up early. So I got a nice little sunrise over the island. It was great.
Awesome. It's a beautiful picture. And then here's, of course, you guys, this is after you walk. So for those who haven't been to Lookout Cay, if you walk across the pier to there's a great picture spot. And so if you're watching on the video, you'll see this picture of AJ and Erika standing with the ship in the background. And so it's basically you're already crossed the pier. And then you've also got this map here. And I'm pretty sure I know what this is because I think you guys created your own Lookout Cay 5K. Am I right?
We did. Yeah. So it's not official 5K yet, but we ran, we got to the tram stop and we asked first, are you allowed to run on the road? Because that was the only thing on my mind that would make sense on the map, to get the mileage. So they said, yeah, just stay on the left of the yellow line and you're good. So awesome. we ran the road, nature trail. And I figure math-wise, if you go back, I think you did go straight back, right?
I did, yeah.
Did it give you 3.1 miles?
Yeah.
Okay. So Erika went straight back. I wanted to explore the island a little more because I'd never been there. So I went down to Serenity Bay and kind of did some of those boardwalk things and then made my way back. I think I ended up just over 4 miles. But yeah, we did a little unofficial 5K on the island.
Yeah, and they're selling 5K merch just for those who haven't seen in the on our Facebook group or in some other Facebook groups. Like they are selling Lookout Cay merchandise at the shops at Disney Tings, which is the shop at Lookout Cay, the main shop. But they don't have medals because there is no official 5K yet, and we don't know when it's coming. But I love, by the way, that you're wearing your Run Disney shirt in this picture.
Yeah, I have to represent at all times.
Exactly. I see AJ's wearing Princess, and Erika, you're wearing the Run Disney logo, which I love. And then this is a great picture. Is this at Serenity?
Sorry, I'm still trying to fix the camera. I think I might switch our FaceTime. Well, I don't know. Apparently the cameras are just like not helping. So sorry about that. You don't have to look at us anymore. You can just hear us. That is on the opposite end of Serenity, down kind of by the Lighthouse.
Oh yeah. Okay. Because where the rocks are. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did. We took later in the day, we just kind of walked down to that end. We did some snorkeling down there. All the boys did. So we went out and did some snorkeling. And while we were down at that end, I made sure to grab a picture.
Awesome. Now tell me about the snorkeling at Lookout, because we have not snorkeled there ourselves.
I didn't love it. We brought our own masks because we were doing 2 islands. I figure, hey, for the cost of buying one, that's a 1-day rental. You know what I mean? So we brought our own and our masks worked great, but I think it was more the weather. We did not have good weather on this day. That picture is false.
So the picture is deceiving. Okay,
right. Yes,
see, this
that's
picture is
better.
Yeah, this picture is less deceiving. We got a lot of cloud cover.
So we got right now, how many times, Erika, did we just kind of get rained off the beach?
3 times, 2 or 3 times. Heavy rain, super windy.
So that meant heavy waves and all that. So the snorkeling was hard because you were fighting
the current
the whole time. So I don't really know if, the coral wasn't beautiful or whatever. I just don't know. It was so much work, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, and it's a beautiful island, but as we've talked about on the show before, it's not a protected cove like at Castaway, right? At Castaway, you've got this berm kind of that protects all of the Castaway beach, and so you're not getting waves directly from the ocean, right? You've got they have to hit this reef and kind of come around before, whereas here you're really out on the open ocean. So that means you're going to have really nice tides, you're going to have a lot of water, right? But it does mean you can get more of a current, and it can be a little bit it's just not a protected cove, which is why you don't have all those floaties, right? They don't give you those floaty, what do they call them? Little, beds, those blue things that you can lay on.
Or the inner tubes or anything.
Tubes, right? Yeah. You can't rent those at Lookout because guess what? If they let you rent them, they would be out into the Atlantic Ocean by the end of the day. Whereas at least with the Castaway, they can at least collect them because they will all end up kind of in this little cove area at Castaway. So they'll all get caught at some point. All right. Well, what did you guys think of Lookout? Now you guys had been to Castaway before, but this is your first time at Lookout.
I have an answer, but I'll let Erika go first because I'm the talkative hog. So so go ahead.
I still love Castaway more, but I really liked Lookout. This is kind of a silly thing, but there were these little crabs everywhere all over the island. And I just loved seeing them, especially when we were doing the 5K.
Yeah.
So those were fun. And I really liked the food. I thought the food was really good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the video.
There your video.
Hey.
I can see you again.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, audio podcast people, that you had to hear that.
Anyway, so I really liked it. I liked it a lot, but Castaway I think is still my favorite.
Yeah. I loved Lookout as well. Here's on a scale of 1 to 10, Castaway's an 11. For me.
Okay,
and
fair.
so if Castaway's an 11, I give Lookout right now until it kind of, I think, figures out its,
matures.
Yeah. I think it's a 7. You know what I mean? So it's not, but, and I know you probably know this, but Hard Scoop ice cream over in Serenity Bay with the cookie toppings. And I mean, she said, what do you want? You want Oreos on that? I'm like, yes, I do. And
why wouldn't you want Oreos on your vanilla ice cream? Right.
So that was a win. And the spicy chicken sandwich was there, and so we were no kids. So we stayed the whole time at Serenity Bay. And so we, I liked it, but here was another thing. For me, Castaway is to the Magic Kingdom, right? Like those are like in or Disneyland,
like the OG.
Right? Magic, like you just know it's Disney. Like you feel it, right?
You feel it.
And I feel like Lookout for me is more like an Animal Kingdom, right? Like it's better designed, better layout.
That's a really great comparison. Yeah.
Like it's more efficient. It's well thought out, all that. But it doesn't have the same, like, I don't know,
magic for
pixie
you.
Dust. I don't know.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's fair. I think the promise of Lookout is 100% than the promise of Castaway. I'm not saying I think Castaway is like a well-oiled machine. It runs really well. You're never going to get French fries, but but that's okay. Right.
There was mac and cheese too at,
there was mac and cheese.
Can I change my answer? I forgot about the mac and cheese. No, I'm just kidding. I still stay with Castaway. Yeah, there was mac and cheese. That was good.
Yeah. But I feel like the beach at Lookout is a more beautiful beach, but they still the foliage hasn't fully developed yet, and to give you enough shade, right? And they haven't I hear, about the signage at the food places is all messed up and things like that. So there are things that they need to kind of figure out and tweak. And of course, as we've talked about on the show before, they're still in the planning stages of things like the 5K, things like some of the excursions, so there are things that I think will come in the future that are just not ready yet. And so I think the promise of Lookout is really fantastic because that beach is incredible. Well, we got some fun pirate pictures that we got to look at, of course.
Pirate Night. We already talked about Chuck and Jamie, who were Captain Jack and
adorable.
She wasn't a character, but she was perfectly pirate.
A pirate wife.
That you can kind of see in the background of the photo is that Alex is Captain Hook being eaten by TikTok.
Oh, that's what the green is?
Yes.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So it's swallowing him all the way up to his chest. And so he had a little arm, all the way down to his...
And then, of course, Smee. I mean,
with her pregnant belly, it was cute as could be. So here's another... so Erika and I we love Pirate Night, but we just wear a themed shirt, and Erika brings her ears, right? Chuck and Jamie blow it out of the water. Alex and Kimberly just crush it. And earlier that day at Lookout, I said something about Pirate Night menu, and we got to go get dressed for Pirate Night. And Jennifer or Kevin, one of them looked at us and said, "What's Pirate Night?" And I was
"Oh, Jennifer and Kevin."
Did I not? Maybe I missed it. Maybe it was one of those moments where I thought, "Just let it flow." I don't. It. So they went and somewhere found pirate shirts on the ship.
Yeah, I see they're wearing pirate shirts. They must have bought it at the shop because
they did. Yeah.
And so our other Pirate Night story is that Kevin and Jennifer are up at Meridian. And they're enjoying a nice cocktail, whiskey, and wine. And we're the party crowd is down just being silly somewhere. And we text them, "Where are you?" Where they said, "We're at Meridian." And so they said, "Come on up." And I had the thought, I don't think we belong at Meridian right now. But everyone else said, "Let's go." And we go up there. and Captain Jack, comes waltzing in, and Captain Hook being eaten by a crocodile walk in. And
like hitting people on the way in.
It was the most awkward moment of all time. How loud and obnoxious, we felt.
We were getting some looks.
by the whiskey sippers,
Well, because you've got people who are going to Paulo and Remy for dinner, right? Like they're all, and they're not dressed for pirate night. I'm going to put this out there. If you are going to Paulo or Remy for dinner and it happens to be pirate night, you're dressed for Paulo or Remy. Maybe you'll wear pirate ears or something, but you're really not pirate ready. And that's most of the people hanging out in Meridian
that's right.
In the evening, it's sort of, pre-dinner time. It's folks heading into, but it's not, there's no dress code in Meridian. So it was
just awkward for us. That was it. And we didn't stay long, we just, we came and said hi and I love moved on. So
I think it's adorable. I love that your friends found t-shirts in the shops. I will tell folks, like, there are not always like pirate t-shirts in the shop. Sometimes they have them, sometimes they don't. It really just is sort of supply, based and, stock based. And so there are sailings I've been on where I've seen they have pirate shirts, and a lot of other sailings I've been on where they have none. They will typically have like pirate accessories for the kids. Like you might be able to buy like a pirate sword or a hook or eye patch, things like that. Those are more plentiful, as well as some different pirate ear options as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I love this because this is the journey of pirate night.
That's just that's me and Erika for 4 cruises doing pirate night.
I love it.
And that's our kids.
I see your first one. You didn't really go all in on pirate night. You didn't know, right?
I called Kevin and Jennifer out, and then here I am, on our first one, wearing the bandana on my head the best I can because I'm like, oh, we were supposed to dress up for this. So that's on us. And there's our kids. You can see them. They're full Disney. They're bought into. So
the thing that I love is that we're totally like fried, like that we've come off the beach, we're burnt in every photo.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Right. Because it's usually a beach day that day.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, of course, your next day was at the beautiful Castaway Cay. There is your picture with Mickey. It looks like all of you did looks like all of you except
for Jamie.
Yeah, I was gonna say except the pregnant one, right?
No, Kimberly did it.
Yeah, Kimberly did it.
He's the one next to Mickey. Oh my goodness.
I don't remember what
Jamie. She was wearing some boots for pirate night, and she messed up her foot, and so she couldn't do it. She was so bummed. Yeah. Well, good on you guys.
So everybody did the 5K
training runs. Yeah. This is I mean, you guys run all the time, so a 5K is nothing for you, probably.
Yeah, but a 5K when it's 85 degrees and 100% humidity is different. So
that's true. Yes. That's true. I mean, you do run in Atlanta, AJ. Come on.
I do. So I think the promise of the churro waffle is what got everybody in. Is I told everybody, here's how we do it. We're first ones off the ship. We do the 5K, we come back on the ship, we eat our churro waffles, we go back out on the island. Like that's how we roll.
Good plan.
And that's how we did it. And Alex had, how many churro waffles do you think he had?
I don't know. 5?
Yeah, 6, something like he brought it. Yeah.
That's some dedication. I think the max I could eat is 2. I mean, I love them.
Yeah, I can do 2.
So sweet, yeah. But I don't think I could eat more than 2.
And Chuck dipped his in syrup, even though
I can't do that. I was going to say that's
though I know
thing
Brian. I knew Brian would say no to that.
It's so funny. Brian has such a sweet tooth, so like it is like him dipping. That's like would be a classic Brian, like to put. But they're so sweet that even Brian is like, no, I won't dip them. I mean, he tried it the one time and then was like, no, too much. And here you guys are through the years on
that's
Castaway.
That's Taylor.
So Erika didn't. Oh, you were injured or something.
Yeah.
Injured one at a time.
2023.
Yeah. So that's my daughter Taylor. So Taylor did it with me instead.
Yeah.
So we've done it.
And so every cruise that you guys have chosen to take of all 4 cruises, all Castaway stops. So
yeah, it's hard to picture a cruise without now that we've done 4. It's hard to picture a cruise without Castaway.
I don't know if you would do one without Castaway.
But yeah, it's my favorite place on the planet.
Jamie
Jamie too, by the way. Jamie, who's on the cruise, she says, Yeah, I mean, she was
drop me off and pick me up on my back.
Pick me up on the next sailing.
Yeah.
You know, that's her jam.
You can. I mean, there are people who live there on Castaway. You got to get a job.
I've been on the Disney Cruise Line careers website and looking for some opportunities.
They do have production videos, AJ. I mean, you don't have to actually work on the ship like all year long. You could probably get a gig doing some production videos for them, though. I bet.
Trust me,
Retirement.
if I didn't have a family.
Yeah. No, I feel like, honestly, I wish, like, part of me wishes I could go back in time, right? Before, maybe before I went to college or before I went to law school, and taken some time off from, sort of working towards my career as a lawyer, and worked on a ship. Like, I could call bingo. That would be my jam. I would absolutely be like, try and be part of the
you'd be great at it.
Team. That would be.
You should host Match Your Mate. That's what you should do.
I would love to host Match Your Mate.
We did that on this cruise. That was our first time. We'd never seen Match Your Mate, and we took our whole small group went, and none of us got selected, and none of us really wanted to. I don't think. And so, but it was so fun. Oh, it was so good.
Well, and there might be things you don't want to talk about in front
That's
of
why, we knew each other, right?
Yeah,
like
you might not want them talking about those things, because they might tell you said there's like 13 people in your church group. They might tell the rest of the people.
We might not be able to go back to church.
Right. They might tell your pastor.
If they knew.
You might not want them talking about.
I mean, you've been to Match Your Mate. Like we saw the people that were won, we saw them later on the ship, and I'm like,
they're famous. They're always
famous. And I also kind of kept my distance a little, So I was like, I know where you've been,
Right. You're like, I'm a little uncomfortable.
I am. They were getting on an elevator, and I waited for the next one,
Yeah. You're like, it's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, you guys can have that elevator.
Absolutely. Here's, of course, you got a beautiful shot of the ship, of course, parked at a Castaway.
Erika is like, hey, I'm going to head back to the ship. And I'm like, go ahead. They're going to drag me off this island.
Right.
And so I just hung around. I was taking pictures. That was it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, and we've got, of course, there's one food picture that you included in this slide deck.
I don't normally take pictures of my food. It's not
Listen, we always say the camera eats first. That's what
I know that y'all are like that. I'm not like that.
Actually, Brian's not like that. He hates
he's not. Okay.
No,
okay.
I mean, he will. He just he looks at me with like disdain. Like, really,
Yes.
I have to take a picture of every piece of food.
Right.
Yeah, but I love.
I love that you do, because I like watching it. I just don't do it myself. So the truffle persets, right? The story here, Sam, is that 2 years ago, before we went on our first cruise, I'm listening to your episodes, before I knew y'all,
Mm-hmm.
and you're talking about all the little things in all the different restaurants, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is, And so I get there and I ordered a bunch of things, the fried brie, and I was not willing to try the escargot. That was not going to happen.
Fair.
But the truffle persets, Erika's like, ew, you're going to eat that? Gross.
Well, not ew, gross, but AJ's like a very picky eater,
non-adventurous eater.
No, I mean, his palate is like 6 things on it. So
right, like mac and cheese is his palate. Right, he's Nathan's palate.
That's right. I ate more chicken tenders on this cruise than I want to admit.
Yeah.
But I ordered 2 plates of the truffle persets on this cruise. I said, hey, Fabian, he was our server. You can put it in both of them in one plate if you want. Like, I'm eating it all. I'm not sharing it. So
delicious.
Anyway, so I just wanted you to know that I tried it because of y'all, and it's one of my favorites. And of course, the churro Mickey waffles. I should have gotten a picture of Alex's plate. I mean, he was just piled high. It was crazy.
I do notice there's syrup in this picture, though.
That was not for me. That was not for me. So the other Alex story is that, and this is an Alex/Jennifer story. So Alex he's our young, fun, wild kind of guy. And then Jennifer is she's, corporate America, non-Disney, per se, person who had never been on a Disney cruise. Anyway, Alex comes into the theater on the last night for Believe.
Yes.
And he's got a napkin And he's heartbreaking. He's sneaking something in. He's got a whole napkin full of chicken tenders.
I love it.
And he asked if anybody wants to share. Well, it turns out Jennifer had not eaten the chicken tenders at all on the cruise, even though I told them.
Wow.
6 months ago it was going to change your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She had tried them earlier that day.
That's what they said in the Wish, life-changing chicken tenders, right?
Yep. And so now here we are, like she's so just put together and very polite and whatever. And Alex is handing out chicken tenders and she reaches across all of us and is like, hand them over, like hand down the chicken tenders. And she's eating it in the theater. I couldn't even believe it. That's how I knew we arrived with Kevin and Jennifer, is that she's just chowing down on a chicken tender that was brought down in a napkin.
In a napkin. I love it. I love it.
So it was pretty great. Yeah. So that was kind of the.
Yeah, I feel like you got to have them on the pool deck, though. I feel like there's nothing better than like midday.
I don't eat them anywhere else.
Yeah, you should eat them on the pool deck, with barbecue sauce or honey mustard, however, with some French fries. Or
I don't eat them in cabanas. I don't, I don't room service them. I just get them on the pool deck.
Yeah, that's where I like them too. I don't know why. Like it just is something about sitting on the pool deck, chowing down on some chicken tenders and fries, maybe some pizza. It's just delicious.
Erika is the pizza. I'm mid on the pizza. Erika loves it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the pizza on the Wish and Treasure is better than the pizza on the other ships. I'm not saying it's not good on the other ships, but it's definitely the best on the Wish class.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. We don't really eat pizza at home, but I will go to the gym and run on the treadmill just so I can have a few slices of that cheese pizza every day.
Erika came up to me and says, "Hey, did you know they'll give you a whole pizza?"
Oh, yeah. No, they will. They will. Yeah. I mean, you might have to wait a little bit for it.
Right. You didn't order it, but you found out that you could.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. By the way, we've got a couple of comments. I wasn't able as I had the PowerPoint, it was hard for me to bring comments up, but I got to say, Ashley is trying to recreate the churro waffles with their DCL spring break friends. So the cruise we were on with them, they had some friends. They live in Charlotte. They had some friends that joined us on the cruise, and they are trying to actually remake. So I wish you good luck.
And we will take that recipe when you figure it out.
Exactly. And they said that they have each tried a different recipe for practice, and the dough needs to be like a French pastry and not an American waffle. Okay, so Ashley, you must share of the varieties that you try. You must share who has, of course, the winning recipe. I also got to bring up that Linda is saying that the winning couple on their last cruise she's talking about Match Your Mate.
Yeah.
Had a perfect score and they cheated. So, no cheating on Match Your Mate, people. And then, of course, Tracy is also saying that the retirement plan for me is
yes.
cast member. I don't know if I'll be too old for them to hire me in entertainment, probably, because they don't tend to hire older folks in entertainment. I'm probably too old right now for them to hire me in entertainment in my 40s.
No, they'll hear they'll know that you're the DCL duo, and they'll know immediately say
that will disqualify me.
We've heard you before.
Well, be like, that's too much. Well, you guys, it's been so wonderful having you on the show. We're gonna wind down here, but I got to ask, what's next up for you guys? I know we talked before the show, and you've got some Disney trips planned, because obviously you're going to run a bajillion races, probably have a perfect season, AJ, I'm guessing.
No perfect season. No perfect season.
Okay.
We are doing, and this is a Disney phrase, as you would know, a run Disney phrase. We're doing just the marathon.
Just the marathon.
Marathon weekend. That's a Disney thing because there's so many races, everybody likes to do them all, and it's,
too much. That's too much.
Yeah. So we did Goofy last year, the 2 races back to back, and
which is the half and then the full, for those who don't know. And they're back to back days. So you're doing half on Saturday, and then you're doing a full marathon on Sunday.
We're going just the full this year.
Just the full.
And so I can't believe we even say stuff like
slackers, you guys. I mean,
what are we even doing?
Right?
But then we're also going to go out to California, and we're doing the Disneyland half, which is 3 weeks later. So I don't know if that makes up for doing just, quote unquote, just the marathon.
Yes,
I don't know if that counts.
Absolutely. So you're getting your coast to coast medal.
We are.
That would be awesome. That's fantastic.
So those are plans. And then this will be Mark's 10 years since Erika's first princess race.
Yeah.
And so 2026 will. And so a lot of healthy lifestyle changes and growth and everything for us and her in that window of time. So we'll probably try and register for princess.
Yeah.
And do that one as well.
That's awesome, you guys. Well, congratulations on 10 years of Run Disney racing. That's amazing. I got to tell you, Kimberly saying thank you for sharing your experience with us. They're blessed to be part of their small group and they're hooked and they're ready for their next cruise. So
they're trying. Alex is trying to talk us into the transatlantic. He's like, ready.
I was going to say, what's the next cruise up for you all?
Every time I see Alex now, he's like, so how about that transatlantic? And, I mean, like, yo, you're about to have a baby, you know?
Well, I mean, you got to do it for the show, right? Like, we need you guys to come back, of course. So, so you it's a sacrifice. Right?
I would love a transatlantic. I think that would be awesome. I'm a sea day person. I love the sea day. We don't have any cruises booked at the moment. I do think, this is my opinion, I want to catch the dream. 4 or 5 night, or probably 5 night. We've never done a 5 night. I'd like to do that, and that will push us into gold status, which then I feel like, and I don't know if this is good strategy, Sam, you can tell me, that will push us into gold status, which would help us in Alaska if we book Alaska. Yes.
Yes, it will. Okay. It will, because there are definitely excursions that tend to book up quicker. Yeah. And so any status, leap you can make before sailing to Alaska is good. There's tons of people, of course, who are silver. And then as you get the higher in the levels, there's less and less people in those tiers, right? So, I mean, especially, the other part of the strategy with Alaska is sailing either at the very beginning or the very end of the season, because those tend to be less oversubscribed, right? If you sail in July, that is the height of the season, right? Yeah. So all of July, it's the most expensive time to sail to Alaska. And it's also going to be the fullest. Of course, the weather is going to be beautiful, but there's that disadvantage as well. So,
So we've got Alaska on our list for sure. It's not the bucket list one, but it's definitely on the list. And I think one more. I want to do the dream. I don't know why. I want to knock that out. I mean, the treasure is on my list too, of course. But
I mean, as a parks person, you got to hit
7 nights and money.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Well, I want to let you guys tell folks know where you can be followed. I mean, I tagged you in our social media posts, but like, you guys both post such really fun stuff, mostly following your Run Disney journey. I love that. You do great videos, AJ. That's evident. I love watching them. I want others to know where they can follow you all. So why don't you tell people?
Yeah. So we've got a YouTube channel, AJ and Erika. Right. So we're starting to put the videos there. I had a YouTube channel and I started putting my stuff on there, it's like just my name or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, they actually started, like, people started watching them. I'm like, well, shoot, like, Erika's in all these videos. Like, so I'm moving everything over to like a joint YouTube account, whatever. So AJ and Erika is where you can find us there. I'm AJ Parker. Are you Erika Parker on Instagram? I think you are.
She's Erika N. Parker.
Yeah. You're the one that set that up for me.
How many years ago was that?
A long time ago. How old are our children? I don't even know.
I don't even know. Don't even know.
Well, thanks you guys for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course you're welcome. Anytime, cool. The standing invitation, any Disney Cruise Line cruise you do, you're coming on. If you do an ABD, you're coming on. Speaking of ABD, the reason I mentioned that is because our show next week, we will be here on Memorial Day. We will be off from work, but we will be live with you all because we are that committed. At our normal time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We will be on with Gail and Kara, friends of the show, multiple time guests. They will have just come back from an Adventures by Disney over in Europe. It's the Tulip one. So it's the one with Belgium and Amsterdam, and it's going to be a fabulous show. So please join us next week. As I mentioned, same great time. But again, thank you so much, AJ and Erika, for joining me. And to you all out there, have a lovely evening and see you real soon.
Well, thanks to everyone out there for listening this week. We really, really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you can keep getting great content from us every week. In fact, twice a week we publish shows. So be sure to hit the subscribe button to get all of those great episodes. And if you want to watch us live, we have a live show now every week, Monday nights, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern over on youtube.com/DCL Duo. So be sure to head over and check that out. If you want to help support the show, be sure to hit those 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And if you leave us a written review, a 5-star written review, we will read it at the top of one of our main episodes. So please head over there and hit those 5 stars. Of course, you can also help support the show by supporting our fabulous show sponsor, My Path Unwinding Travel. If you want to book your next Disney vacation, head over to mypathunwinding.com/DCL Duo or email them at dclduo@mypathunwinding.com so they know we sent you their way. If you've got questions or you'd like to connect with us, the best way to do that is to head over to dclduo.com. It's got links to all of our things, full catalog of the podcast episodes, including a searchable catalog for the podcast, links off to our vlog, a link to our Etsy store where we sell some fun fan-inspired magnets, link to our Patreon if you'd like to help directly support the show each and every month. Just head over to the website or patreon.com/DCL Duo. Also has a way for you to sign up for our Substack newsletter that we're hoping to start really pumping out monthly here at least, and a few blog articles that we've written. So dclduo.com is the best way to connect with us. You can also, of course, email us at info@dclduo.com or reach out to us on our voicemail line at 402-413-5590. That's 402-413-5590. The DCL Duo podcast is not affiliated with Disney Cruise Line, the Disney Company, or the Disney family of theme parks. The views expressed on the show are solely those of the individuals on the podcast and in no way reflect the views of the Disney Company or Disney Cruise Line. If you have questions about a Disney cruise or a Disney vacation, please contact the great folks over at My Path Unwinding Travel or Disney directly or your own travel agent. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time for another fabulous adventure with the DCL Duo. Good night.